Hey everyone, MJ here. I'm in a different place. Hey Kenra, how you doing? Boom, welcome from Twitter. And you know, it's funny because you notice it has the Periscope icon. There you go. All right, we are. Jan, how are you? Nice to have you with us. Gallardo, fist bump to all you guys. I got the comments a little bit smaller. Hey Rob, how you doing? I can make them just a hair bigger. Why don't we do this? Is that better? Excuse me. Okay. Now this is the chat widget. Okay, Matthew, fist bump to you. Wow, the whole gang's here. It's great. This is the chat widget, which is different than what I was using the other night because you know the other night we had the white background that was all washed out, right? Excuse me. You know, I always get something in my throat right before I go on the air, and I always get like dry lips. But back in the old days, you know, in radio, we had a cough switch. You'd press the button, you go, nobody could hear it. So, hey, my goodness, yeah, you are, because you're in Australia, and it's even what, 2 hours? Okay, so it's like almost 2. Yeah, almost 2 a.m. there, where you are. Nice to have you with us, Fei. All right, so how do you guys like how this chat widget looks here? Now, I can't scroll on this like I can on the other. You know, if I were to enable the original chat, you know, that's scrollable, right? But that's okay. So. Oh, okay, and you're rebelling. Fei, I know who you work for. And rebellion is not allowed. Brian, how you doing? Boom. Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? See, we're getting some reports, even though the app supposedly quit, it just means you can't broadcast. See, they had to keep the API in place, right? And so viewing on Twitter is better on YouTube. Well, that's very interesting. That's cool. Okay, well, whatever works. But here's the thing. All right, we're going to cover a couple of this stuff, a couple of these things here. The Periscope app apparently is still functioning. In other words, it is still playing back, live streams. But so, okay, cool. No, I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, yeah, that's Ann. Yeah, it is a long time no see. Wow, everybody's come out of the woodwork. This is great. No, I love it. I love it. This is fantastic. And I made the box like really long, so that's excellent. So, all right, now here's the thing. Periscope app still works, just you can't broadcast from it. But they had to keep the API intact so that because they're converting everything to Twitter Live. What Twitter Live is basically is embedded Periscope within the Twitter app. It's kind of, in my opinion, it's a dumb way to do it. Because like Facebook, as much as I hate Facebook, they at least hired a team of engineers and they built live streaming in. They baked it in, you know. But what Twitter did was they paid $150 million for Periscope and they embedded it. Whoa. I wish they'd given me $150 million because I would have given them the $5 million solution. And I would have been, you know, managing it from my house in Grand Cayman. It doesn't take that much to do live streaming. In fact, live streaming infrastructure these days with content delivery networks and OT systems, you can do it on your own for $300 or $400 a month. That's personally affordable for most people. All right, but getting back to that, you're gonna get notifications from Periscope because they're using the Periscope API call. Okay, so at least we're able to capture the comments from Periscope and from YouTube because we are simulcasting on both platforms. Now here's what I'd like for you to do. Please keep this in mind because see, this is important. The problem is everybody was subscribed on Periscope. Now it's gone. So you got to subscribe on Taiwan Live TV on Twitter. I'm not a big Twitter fan. I don't like Twitter. It's super political. And the thing that I don't like about Twitter, This is the same reason I don't like, yeah, it's the same reason that I don't like Facebook is I got to see everything that everybody else posts and all the shares. I want to turn all of that off. I only want to see the stuff directly from the people that I follow, not from their friends, not from follows, not from shares. And so I don't use Twitter. Truth be told, I actually don't like Twitter. But it is a live streaming platform, and you can get a lot of traction there if you want to, if that's your goal. My goal is not traction. If my goal was traction, I'd go down here and I'd have, you know, the Vietnam girl a day modeling some clothes for you guys. I'd have millions of views. That's not what I'm doing. So Taiwan Live TV is also Instagram. You can find me on Instagram. And two other things that I want to show you. You can also find my studio, Phoenix Media Forge, on Instagram. If you want to follow my studio and keep up with what I'm doing, I don't post a whole lot of stuff, just things once in a while of, you know, what I'm doing. But there's one other thing that I do want to show you guys. And you know, I'm a terrible self-promoter, but I'm on SoundCloud. And my SoundCloud, oh, she. Oh,
Hello.
This is the boss. This is Mr. Wu. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. You prefer the original chat? Well, I'll tell you what. Doing original chat is just this easy. I can do like this. I can take this off. I can go back to here, and I can pop this on. Is that okay? Because it's white and the wall's white. So just let me know. You guys, you know, it's up to you. And, you know, I live stream for you. But SoundCloud is exactly what it sounds like. It's a platform for music. And I have a profile, Phoenix Media Forge Studio, on SoundCloud. And you can find all the stuff on there from, you know, the old stuff that I did, and I got some new stuff that I'm doing too that will be available on SoundCloud and also on, gosh, on every platform you can imagine. The other day it's funny because we use KK Box in Asia. And I have KK Box in my car, and I decided just the other day for the fun of it to search and see if one of my records is listed in KK Box, and it is. I was like, wow, that's cool. Okay. Now, let's talk about what was going on this week, and I really appreciate everybody joining and you know, staying with us here during the transition to Periscope. Everybody was very, very worried and concerned about it. I wasn't, because you look at, you know, you look at here the traffic. This is YouTube. It's almost all YouTube. Very, very, very little actual Twitter or Periscope. Now, Rob says that the Twitter experience is good and it's better, but that's excellent. All right, so I got some stuff to show you today. So let's do this. Now, recently we were in Elon, and I didn't have a chance to show you everything. We stayed in a hotel where we had this view out the window. And when you stepped out into the balcony, you got this view. That's a view I took in the morning. This is on the east side. Hey, how's it going? Orange letters. You mean oh, these are white letters. You mean the other ones are clearer? Well, how about this? Rob said he preferred the original chat, maybe because of the size. And really, I really want to make you guys happy. So let's do this. Let me do this. I'm going to take this out. Let me put this back on, but change the... Hang on. Yeah. Let me go up higher. So the next chat that comes in, we'll see that on there. Okay, so we had this view in the morning, and this is on East Taiwan, and we're looking kind of west or southwest. You can see the mountains and the beautiful view. And this is what it looked like at night. But I'm going to tell you. Hey, T, how you doing? How you doing? All right. So how is that chat. Does that chat look okay? Is it big enough? All right, so this was a view at night. But I gotta tell you something, as upscale as those views were, the internet stunk. I mean, you know, I was on a Zoom meeting and I couldn't even I missed half the meeting. Okay, it's a lot bigger. And so they're gonna scroll off the screen faster. Now, this is a guava that we got. We went to an organic tea farm. They had all kinds of really interesting things. And those of you who know me know that I love this stuff. This is a Taiwan strain of a cinnamon tree. It's a type of cassia. Now you have to be careful because it does have that chemical in it that's bad for the liver. But this is cassia, and I took one leaf off that tree and put it in my mouth and chewed it, and it was like an explosion of incredible cinnamon. And so they have all kinds of things like these little limes and so forth. But one of the cool experiences that we had was that they took us into the field to pick. They dressed us up. Hey, all right, yeah, okay, on Twitter, there you go, with a Periscope. Excellent, thank you, thank you. And let me just say this, please follow on Twitter and press the bell, because the bell will give you the option for the live streams. And if you're like me, you're only interested in the live streams. You're not interested in the political stuff that people say. This is my family dressed up as Taiwanese tea pickers, except we have masks on. But the kerchief around the hat and the woven basket, yeah, that's cool. And I even wore one, man, because, you know, I'm confident with my masculinity. That's what the woven what the woven basket looked like. Yes, thank you. That's what the woven basket looked like. I like those sakura flowers that you got there, Jan. That looks really nice. Now, the lady is showing us here what kind of tea leaves we're supposed to be interested in. We're not really picking them. But what it is that you look for the tea leaves that have like 3 at a time. There's the 3 leaves that you want to pick. All right, let me read this. This is the new chat box is nice, but overlays the old chat. No, it's not supposed to overlay the old chat because I turned the old chat off. See, right now the old chat is off. Are you seeing both chat? Because I'm not. It's supposed to be off. If the old chat is on, that's a big... There's no way I can fix that. So Rob, you're seeing... Okay. The problem is then... Okay, that's something that I have to talk with Jake about. Okay, so that means what I have to do is I just have to go with the old chat. Sorry. I just have to go with the old chat. I have to go with this because we can't have it doubled. And I didn't realize that because it shows here. I've got a an icon with a prompt, so. Okay, but do you see both now? Okay. Well, Periscope has always had its own chat coming up, but I burn to the stream because I want people on each platform can see, you know, the comments from the other platform. That's the only way to do it. So Looks normal. Okay. So Ann says no. Philip says no. Brian says yes, still both. I'm going to proceed and see what happens. All right, so anyway, this is yours truly. This is MJ as a Taiwan leaf picker. And I picked that beautiful kerchief to go around my hat because I love bright colors and I don't care what anybody says. So this is my family with the boss lady who's telling us, you know, bringing us out into the field. And it's a beautiful field. And you can see the tea groves here. Now let me show this. The tea groves, this is typical of low altitude tea. And they keep them trimmed really, really low to the ground. And that way people can, pick them easily. Okay. Right. Well, what it is, if you're looking, okay, here's the thing. Both YouTube, if you're using the chat box on YouTube, which you guys who are talking on YouTube, okay, you guys are chatting on YouTube, you obviously have live chat open. If you're looking in landscape mode, you're going to get the YouTube chat. Plus, you're going to get this stuff that I got burned on the stream. So, the problem is, if I don't burn it, then nobody sees the other. And there's one thing I've learned about this game, live streaming, is that if you want to lose followers and you want to lose viewers, just make them feel left out. So in other words, if I'm going, oh yeah, well, you know, it's because of this and that and the other thing, and you're going, what's he talking about? Because they don't see you. So yeah, you see both, right? Right. Yeah, I don't know of a way to fix that, because I know when you're looking at your YouTube, you know, in landscape mode, it's on the left, which is where I have, you know, these. I have these on the left. I can't move these. I can move the other ones. So anyway, okay, all right. Thanks, TT. Now, when you guys said that we're both were showing, so you were saying that I had not. Okay, take care, Faye. Fist bump to you. Your boss is going to be mad, but that's okay. Just make it up to them. So you guys were telling me that I had the chat widget and this native chat showing at the same time. Okay, what I can do is I can't back out of the broadcast right this second. But in the setup for the next one, I can kill the original chat, this here, and I can put the widget in, I can move it anywhere that I want across the field, and I'll do whatever you guys want because I don't care, it doesn't matter. All right, now the other thing that we did, which I thought was funny, was we went to this crayon place, a crayon factory. And we got a chance to make some crayons, but something else that I thought was really cool. We got a chance to make some felt tip markers. And you see the hammer and stuff? What you do, they got a little block that what you do is you dip a wick into the ink, and then you put it into the I guess you'll call it a blank. And then you use that little hammer and you tap it down. And so what it was is I ended up making what I thought was the 3 coolest colors. And this is it. And so, yeah, you can see inside there's a wick full of ink, right? And these markers are great. And they just, you know, for the price of admission, you can make 3. So I love purple and I love pink. And there's green, and so they're really, really nice markers. And you know, you have to put them together. You can screw them here, and when you unscrew them, you know, you can see the way they're built. But I carry these with me because they're very convenient, and they mark really well. I'm surprised. So that, you know, that was a really cool thing for Phoenix to do for a little kid. Now, I was just you know, in a funny mood, so I decided to try a wig on with my mask. And I was thinking, yeah, you know, this kind of looks like, you know, it looks kind of rock and roll. But I decided to go for my, and this might get me banned from YouTube, I decided to go for my insurrection look. And this is my insurrection look. So what do you guys think of that? Yeah, this is my insurrection look. And for anybody who's, you wouldn't be the only one that's worrying about me. Okay. I went on a nice 3-day fast and lost a number of kilograms again, so I'm on my way back down. Now, you guys know how much I love sports cars. And I love, you know, it's really funny because I got a beer budget, but I have, you know, champagne and caviar taste. But I was at a place the other day and I saw a guy with a McLaren. And this McLaren, he parked on the road, right, like this. Let me just do this. Let me do this. And he parked it on the road, right? Now, with the import duties and the taxes, this car is about $750,000 in Taiwan. He didn't want to pay for the parking lot. So we parked it on the street and risked somebody smashing into it. So this goes along with what I've been telling you before about Taiwan economics, where somebody will bend down to pick up 1 NT and 1,000 NT will fall out of their pocket and they won't notice. Anyway, lastly, the last thing I got for you this week is a very cleverly done video. Now, it's a fake video, but it looks kind of real. It's a chainsaw haircut. Now, people have been asking me, is this me? No, I guess people think it looks like me, but it's the same kind of thing with Taiwanese. Oh, I got white hair, I got glasses, so I look like, you know, 50 million people. Nobody ever says I look like Richard Gere. They say I look like, you know, Colonel Sanders. But this guy is getting his hair cut from a barber that's using a chainsaw. I assure you it's fake. But what I want you to look for is he starts out with a real, I guess it's pronounced still, a real still chainsaw. And you can see that the blade is all, you know, where the chain runs across, you know, the blade run on the front. It's all like dirty and scuffed up. But then later on, you see that he changes to the toy. They make a toy. And there's one section where he comes across like this, and you see the bottom of it, and you can see clearly the battery compartment. But I got to tell you, this wins like an award for being like cool. Here you go.
Boah, Junge, hast du Haare am Kopf?
Ja, so nach 3 Monaten, ne?
Aber da schneide ich aber jetzt nicht mit Kamm und Schere, da nehme ich aber größere Maschinen für. Du.
Okay.
Ja.
Ja, ich vertraue dir, weißt du.
Okay, let's analyze this. First of all, let me do this again. I'm going to move this over here. Now, you see right there, you see that's the bottom of the chainsaw, and you can clearly see that there's a battery compartment there. That's the toy with the screw on it. See the battery compartment, but it's very, very, very well done. So let me do this. Let me, whoops, whoa, whoa, whoa. Let me do this, and I will reset this. Let me reset this to the proper height, and then, okay. So let's analyze this real quick. I'm going to stop this when he changes from the real one to the toy. So watch.
Boah, Junge, hast du Haare am Kopf?
Ja, so nach 3 Monaten, ne?
Hammer, Hammer. Da schneide ich aber jetzt nicht mit Kammutschere, da nehme ich aber größere Maschinen für.
Now he starts out with a real
Ja, ich
one
vertraue dir, weißt du.
with the chain guard on, you know, the brake. So the brake's on. This is the real one. And you see how beat up it is. But now watch. Ready? 1, 2, 3, and there. That's the toy. Do you see it change? Now he's using the toy. Yeah. So there you go. So that's how it was done. So I love that kind of stuff, and I like it when it's really, really done well. That was done well. So, all right, let me do this, and we'll be right back after this.
Hi, this is Dave in Osaka, live from Greenland, and you're watching Taiwan Live TV with MJ Klein.
Well, and if that was a real chainsaw, the ear protection he would need would be from cutting his ear off. And Ken Rod sent me a really nice bumper. Here you go.
Hi everybody, you're watching Late Night with MJ Klein on Taiwan Live TV.
Now you guys know our friend Ken Rod, and he does these great coffee reviews. But here's what you got to do. You got to follow everybody on Twitter now, because the Periscope follows are all gone. And like most people, for example, I had 4 times the number of followers on Periscope that I had on Twitter. It's the same with Dave. Dave had something like 35,000 followers on Periscope. Nobody followed us on Twitter because it didn't matter, because Twitter and Periscope were a separate app. Now, even though we don't agree with it and we don't like it from a business standpoint, it makes perfect sense, because Twitter wants their app to be the central point for everything. They want you to wake up in the morning and do everything with Twitter. You mark my words, they're even going to do like assistant stuff, kind of like Google. That's where they're headed. Google wants to be, you know, everything to everybody. Coco, how you doing? Good evening to you. And so, yeah, on Periscope, yeah, you can, but you can't broadcast from there, but that's true. And if you share it out, if you share this on Periscope, people will freak out. They go, huh? I got a Periscope notification. Here's the thing, though. I think Twitter expected, because they announced it like, what, 3 or 4 months ago, that Periscope would be dead on April 1st. Either people thought it was a joke, or they just kept the app to see what it would do. I think Twitter was expecting everybody to just delete the app and not realize and not, you know, think about it and not discover that it still, you know, works. So, how are you, Coco? How's everything? Coco, tonight I got some bootsy sauce with mayonnaise. I made some bootsy mayonnaise, and I have some Taiwan style deep fried chicken nuggets in this bootsy mayonnaise. And Coco, you are one of the few people on the planet that has bootsy sauce and knows what it tastes like with bootsy mayonnaise. You know what mayonnaise to make bootsy mayonnaise? Yeah, it is. That's what they should call it. Yeah, it is. It's always show time. That's all I do. All I do with you guys is eat and talk. That's all we do. That's why you like it. Because, of course, we got the onions with cayenne pepper. And always, because this is Taiwan, we have the 9 towers. Yes. Well, yes, Rob, you can. You can. So here's what I'm trying to tell everybody. Killing off the Periscope app was designed to not split the users between Periscope and Twitter. They want everybody to go over to the Twitter app. But it's not as easy as just turning it off. Because everybody who's ever connected through API with, let's just name a few, Prism, like this one, Prism, Live Studio, StreamYard, Streamlabs, Haps, Restream.io, anybody that that connects with an API to stream to Periscope, that would all be broken. And Twitter doesn't want to kill the live streams. They don't want to kill the live streaming community or people's ability to connect with third-party apps. I'm a big third-party app guy. I hated the Periscope app. The Periscope app was terrible. But in order to do that, they have to preserve the API. That includes any of those connections and, of course, Periscope producer. So it's not a surprise it was done on purpose. It's just that you can not use the Periscope app to broadcast from. And my guess is pretty soon they're going to pull the app from Google Play and from the iTunes store, and they're going to eliminate the functionality of the app, but they're going to keep all those API calls. I mean, the only reason, this all says every one of these here has a Periscope icon, right? Not a Twitter icon, because they're still using Periscope, and it's all through Amazon AWS. I know what they're doing, man. It's not that hard. The last couple of months, I have been researching, investigating, and seriously considering developing my own live streaming platform that I could sell to other live streamers. But with everything, you have to weigh the cost, not just the monetary cost. Okay, well, there you go. They're probably rolling that out a little at a time. Because you guys know Dave, right? Dave in Osaka, the best live streamer in the world. He's a friend of mine. He's been watching scopes all day on Periscope, and he's been sharing them out on Periscope, which is pretty funny. I just can't believe, though. For crying out loud. Do you know how much of my live streaming career has been spent talking about live streaming instead of talking about other stuff, instead of using live streaming? It's kind of like the old website Pro Blogger. The guy had a blog called Pro Blogger, and it was all about how to make money blogging. And all you do is talk about the tech. You don't have anything to say. So, well, it's been embedded in Twitter for months. Every time you scroll on Twitter and see a, sorry, I gotta go this way. Every time, you see that broadcast, it's Twitter. But they couldn't turn the back end, the content delivery network, the CDN, they couldn't turn all of that off or it wouldn't work. So, if I recall, the Twitter app, when you're looking at a live stream, there's a little square with an arrow that if you press it, it'll which is pretty cool. It keeps it open while you can scroll through the rest of Twitter. Although I don't really know why anybody would scroll on Twitter. I'm going to tell you. I mean, I know I use their platform, but it's only because it's a live streaming platform. I cannot stand Twitter. It is just, it is nothing but people arguing and link after link after link of warring factions, leftists, rightists, centerists, upists, downists, whatever, talking about how they just trying to convince each other that they're, the other person's wrong and they're right. And I just, it's mind-numbing. Yeah, I know what you mean. Well, supposedly now with Twitter Live, you can break out the little box, the video window, and it goes down into the corner, but you'll have to tell me if that works. Now it's funny because Drake's Society, yes it is, but it also, I believe, is a pretty clear indication of where society is. Excuse me. That was my cost switch. Yeah, they don't get it, man. See, and you guys know my recording background. I studied psychoacoustics and the way to manipulate audio to make people want to listen to your record. I know very, very much about psychoacoustics. I employ psychoacoustics when I broadcast from my studio. I employ psychoacoustics when I mix records and I master records. But there are other types of psychological programming, and it's not just acoustics. This has a mute button on it because this is Prism. You'll see that every once in a while down here in the corner, you're going to see the Prism Live Studio, the Prism icon. So I had some in my throat and it would have sounded gross. So I just, and this is a live TV, so what are you going to do? TikTok is one of the most psychologically powerful and brilliantly manipulative programs that have ever been devised by man. You can't stop watching TikTok. I never installed it because I knew what it was. Okay, and that's what Twitter is trying to do. How many times, I'm going to ask you, can I see a show of hands? Show of hands? You should. Prism is amazing. And here's what I want you to do. Is it Candavu? Sorry if I pronounced it wrong. Here's what I want you to do. This is my email for the show. LateNight@TaiwanLive.tv. LateNight@TaiwanLive.tv. I maintain 2 line groups. I maintain a line group for my followers called it's Late Night. But I also have a live group, a line group for live streaming technology. So all the major live streamers that you know, okay, all the big names are in there, in that group. And we're always talking about this technology. So you're welcome to join us. But the coolest thing ever is that the lead developer for Prism is in our line group. We have direct access to Naver. And Naver that's the parent company for Line, and they own Prism. I'm going to tell you a little secret. They're getting into a new area. I've actually been something of assisting them in a small way, but they are getting into using live streaming for shopping, and I've been saying this for years and years. Broadcast invited me to Dubai to their business meeting because the CEO wanted to meet me and hear what I had to say, and all I had to say was sell. It's about selling. Selling is like shaving. If you don't do it every day, you're a bum. It's about selling, commerce. It's buying and selling, buying and selling. That is one of the major things that live streaming is for. Now, I'm not trying to make money, so I'm just having fun talking with my followers about things. But but you better believe that live streaming is an amazing way. And I made some videos of the Taiwan app called Shopee, and how on the weekend there are dozens of people that are trying on clothes, trying on jewelry. They're showing you electronics, they're showing technology, they're demonstrating these things, and they give you on the spot coupons that show up on your, discounts, they show up on your screen. It's amazing. And Naver is getting into that, and Naver is considering making their own live streaming platform, and if they do that, ladies and gentlemen, they will own that space because they have billions of dollars to throw at it. It's pretty amazing. So yeah, but really, you want to try out Prism, man. Prism, and you may not know this, but they do it's a completely separate division, because I asked. They do a Windows PC based system. One of the if you look on Taiwan Live TV on YouTube and you go back a couple of months, the last stream that I did from the studio, I used Prism. And thank you. It's been a privilege. It's been I haven't seen you for about 2 years on a live stream at least. So it's been a real privilege. I thank you so much. You stayed a long time. Thank you so much. And I hope to see you again. I hope this isn't a once every 2 years kind of thing. So. But yeah, can you imagine, seriously, if you have a gimbal, which you got steady, rocks, because you guys know me, I use a gimbal when I live stream handheld. A rock steady signal and a rock steady picture, and you're using it to sell things. Use it to demonstrate things. I mean, I do stuff here like, I do stuff like this. All I do is I go like this. I go, look, I'm eating today. And I go, boom, there you go. And I show you what I'm eating. And I show you, the sauce and stuff that I'm going. And just that little bit has a big impact. Okay? And you can generate, this is the hardest thing to do, is to generate demand. Sure would. Supply and demand, right? Supply and demand. Well, there's a whole lot of people sitting around with the supply going like this because there's no demand or not enough demand, so they have to create demand. Now, you know that song, I don't know much, but I know I love you. Yeah. Well, my song is, I don't know much, but I know how to create demand. And the funny thing of it is, the song goes on to say, and that's all I need to know. That's about right. Because if you can create demand, then filling it is pretty easy. Because if you got demand, and you can show it, purchase orders for products, orders for products. You can go to any bank, you can go to your friend, go to an entrepreneur, say, look, these people want this product, man. Let's make it. You know how I know? I do it all the time. You guys know me, I don't work. It's just the way it is. Yep. Thing is, though, it's not enough just to show what you have. You have to create the demand for it. And that's kind of an art. It really is. It's a specific kind of selling. See, think about this. Most salespeople are dealing with people that have already come to a store or a car dealership or something. So they're already looking. All you have to do is kind of gently just kind of guide them. And at the end, you upsell them a little bit. But you know, for a few $1,000s more, you can get the rich Corinthian leather, right? You want that, right? You deserve that, right? But to have somebody that doesn't even know that they need a new car, want a new car, but have somebody come along and create in them that desire, to create that demand. If you find somebody like that, you should sign them to an exclusive contract, because that's a license to print money. And I've known people like that. Back when I was in the big time, my personal manager's name was George Daniel. You got that, man, and you just dated yourself. All right. This bump. My personal manager was my personal manager because he is like the biggest people person that I ever even heard of. And I'm going to tell you a story because he's legendary. We used to always say that George can sell anybody anything. And one day he demonstrated it because he bought some batteries from a store. Then we went someplace else. We're on the way someplace else. And he took the batteries out of the package. And they were dead. Now this almost never happens, right? But this is about 30 years ago. The batteries were dead. So we said, we'll pull over at that store. Okay. We thought that he was just going to buy new batteries. George actually got that store to take back the batteries that he didn't buy there, that he bought at a totally another store. And I don't mean a store from the same chain, from like a completely different company. He got that person to take the batteries back and give him new batteries. And you know, we didn't know what to say. Wherever we were going the rest of the time, you know, our mouths were just hanging open. That's how this guy is. If you can find somebody like that, yeah, then you're going to be cooking with gas. All right, let me see. I'm going to check the live studio and see what else that we have. Now, we haven't looked at this in a while. Is this going to load or not? I remember when I used to be upset and concerned when this was like 3 million or 4 million. But look at this now. 129 million worldwide cases. Of course, they're not active. Because 2.8 million people have died. But the countries are going down. It used to be 195. Countries are going down. So things are starting to work. And we're about to see the end of this whole thing. Because vaccines are rolling out. Now, I know in the States, a lot of people think that if you get a vaccine, it puts a microchip in you and they can, you know, listen in on your thoughts and all this stuff. I get the seasonal flu vaccine every year. And because of my advanced age, I'm turning 65. So I am, after the frontline people, hospital workers, police, fire, rescue, of the civilian population, I'm going to be one of the first people to get it, and I'm rolling my sleeve up. And so I urge everyone to get some kind of vaccine. But interestingly enough, Taiwanese do not want Sinovac, which is the Chinese version. They refuse to take the Chinese vaccine. There's a lot of suspicion. Yeah, there's a lot of suspicion with the Chinese vaccine. Some people think that China purposely tried to infect Taiwan with COVID-19 so it would wreak havoc and make it easier for them to invade. And that's why they're really mad when it didn't happen, and they're furious when Taiwan engages in COVID-19 mask and medical diplomacy. They're absolutely furious because they underestimated the tenacity and ingenuity of Taiwan and Taiwanese people. Taiwan industrial capability is formidable. And the reason that I know it is because my livelihood depends on it. Yeah, Taiwanese industrial prowess is legendary and incredible. All right, so do we have any questions this evening? Because I know I've been going on and on, but this bootsy stuff here is like, Don't have to worry. Yes, you should. But don't worry. Because Taiwan is a semiconductor leader in the world. You've no doubt read that there are several U.S. automotive manufacturing assembly lines that are shut down due to a shortage of chips that come from Taiwan, right? Did you read that? Okay. One of the reasons China is mad, Huawei is running out of chips. We have technology in Taiwan that's not legally available in China. For them to get it, it's very risky. For example, 5-axis machining, CNC machining. We have that in Taiwan. That means you can make nuclear weapons. 5-axis machining is illegal in China. Yeah, I'm sure they smuggle it in, but not on a large scale. It has to be under the radar. Everything's about nanometers. And Taiwan is experimenting, and they're on the bleeding edge of this. They have such small scale nanotechnology that the Chinese scale is like 5 times greater. It makes a huge difference with power consumption and efficiency and so forth. But what it comes down to is all the chips that China needs come from Taiwan, and if they invade Taiwan, they'll destroy the factories. And Taiwanese aren't stupid. Somewhere, somehow, through the back channels, the Taiwanese have communicated to the CCP that if you set foot on Taiwan, we're going to blow those factories up. And there's nothing for you to get.
一个人在里面。
对呀，因为外面有客人啊。
对呀。
对呀。 你好不好？你好不好？ Okay. It's boss lady's wife. It's really nice. She said I was in here in this room because they have customers out there. I don't want to see. You can hear them, but I think if I was live streaming in the room with them, not only would I be talking like kind of to myself, it's sort of rude, but their conversations would be clearly recorded. And I've had this situation before where some of the stuff that's being discussed was pretty unsavory. I've had some cheating husbands. I had a guy come in one time in another place, and he was just looking for sex, just openly saying this in Chinese. And some of my viewers who speak Chinese were pretty appalled, and so was I. But what am I supposed to do? Tell them, hey, I'm talking here because it's a public place. So I just came into this little room. But anyway, don't worry about that because Taiwan is a world leader in semiconductors, and they have the full backing of the United States. And just 2 weeks ago, just 2 weeks ago, Japan announced that they would absolutely come to the rescue if Taiwan was attacked by China. See, country after country after country is tired of China's crap. And they know it's crap. They know it's crap. And many nations in Africa just crippled China. Because one of the tools that the CCP uses, I should stop saying China. I have to say the Chinese Communist Party. The CCP uses debt traps. Okay? So they put all this infrastructure, spend all these billions of dollars in infrastructure, and then these countries owe them money for 99 years or something. A bunch of countries in Africa took the infrastructure money and told China to go screw. And China is not in as good a shape as people think. So they are. They are. Less than enamored. That's exactly right. And so the CCP is not doing as good as people think because they started the Clean Plate Initiative. There's a food shortage, okay? And the Three Gorges Dam is in worse shape than people think. Yeah, right. Interesting. Belize is kind of a rich nation. I don't get that. I always wanted to go there, by the way. They got some great diving and snorkeling. But some of the African countries band together and they said, no, we're not paying you back. Because they don't want to be subjugated to it. Now, they went back on their word, but I can understand why they did that. So, there you go. What do you think about it? Did you like it? I haven't been to Belize, but I've been to Cayman. Cayman was incredible. I know some people went to Belize, though. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a pretty good way of putting it. Definitely. Don't worry about Taiwan. It's just my opinion. I heard that. I heard the people are spectacular down there. Of course, all over the Caribbean is like that. See what? Interesting. Hey, Clip. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, I'll see you on our Sunday night stream. Thanks, man. I didn't even know you were in there. Sorry. That's true. Well, a lot of places like that here. It's cash society here. Like, I couldn't use a credit card here. And most places in my neighborhood, maybe 7-Eleven, something like that. But Making sure I didn't miss any comments. Don't worry about Taiwan. It's definitely going to be here. And remember how I said that we have five axis, you know, AXIS, 5-axis machining in Taiwan. Now, I don't have any, even though I have worked with the Taiwan Air Force on one investigation, I don't have any insight, any particular, you know, insider information. But it wouldn't surprise me if Taiwan has nuclear weapons. But either way, we know that the United States always has weapons that haven't been revealed yet. And so if the CCP invades Taiwan, it may sort of kind of be like a Hussein, you know, Hussein situation. Thank you. But don't worry, we're good, we're good. Where Saddam Hussein woke up one morning and he said, stealth bomber, what's that? What do you mean? You can't pick it up on radar. What do you mean it only flies at night? What do you mean it surgically removed my Republican Guard and destroyed everything, part of my infrastructure, and we don't have anything left? What, in one night? Yeah, that's what the U.S. military does. I laugh because a lot of what we call, you know, the Wu Mao, the 50-cent army of CCP trolls that go all over the world and put, you know, those stupid comments, right, in YouTube and stuff. Bye-bye, Jen. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you. They always say things like, you know, welcome to the South China Sea. Be prepared to die. And they're talking about the U.S. military. But that's the thing. The U.S. military has always been prepared to die. But what the CCP doesn't understand is the U.S. military is prepared to win and do whatever it takes. And so, yeah, I just stay out of it. But I recognize what's going on, and I see it, and I understand it. So I think it's time to head out. Local time is almost 10 minutes until 1 a.m. It's been a pleasure. You guys take care. Thank you so much. I love all of you. Thank you for following. Follow on Twitter, Taiwan Live TV, without the dot. There's no dot, but just Taiwan Live TV on Twitter. And then click that little bell, you know, to get, you know, the, thank you, Coco, to get, you know, the notifications. But I would prefer, please, I would much prefer that you follow me on YouTube. Thanks, you guys. Thanks for hanging in there. I really appreciate it. No, it's always a good chat, you know, because you guys, you got some good questions and some good comments, you know, and you know, it's really you guys that's driving it, you know. But do me a favor. If you get a chance, please check me out on SoundCloud. Okay, let me move out of the way a little bit. SoundCloud. Actually, let me just do this. This will be funny. If I do this, if I turn off the camera, there you go. SoundCloud is a website, soundcloud.com. If you look at Phoenix Media Forge Studio, you can find my releases there, so I'd appreciate it. Ken Ron, that's okay, bro. Thank you. We'll see you next time. Guys, follow Ken too. Follow him on Twitter and follow him on YouTube. You guys take care. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time, okay? Bye-bye. Have a good afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world. Going to see you next time. Bye-bye. Zaijian. All right, that's a wrap.